Good morning. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. Just going to do a little bit of sharing before I go forward with our topic. And our topic is kind of a good one. As per normal, it's quite a rainy day here in Toronto. Welcome. Whoever, as you're coming on, let me know you're here and certainly share this. This is going to be a good one. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Maureen. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it's a full moon in Aries time. I wonder how folks are feeling. People are, it's an important time, Aries is, I'm just doing a little sharing so everyone can come on and you can do the same to my group. I'm sharing to my group, Courageous Conversations, which is a great support spot for us all. Please join that group if you feel moved to. And also to my Courageous Conversations page. Good morning, everyone who's coming on. A lot of rescuers in the house, maybe, eh? We all have that tendency, so that's why I thought I'd talk about it. And also, full moon in Aries is another little theme I wanted to tackle a little bit, because Aries is the planet of impulsiveness, and Aries is the warrior sort of. Well, I'm an Aries, so Aries has as its main planet Mars, so that's a bit of a. But with Aries, it's all about very clear, action, direction, making quick choices, and I want to talk a little bit about how that impacts us all, which I know it is. But nice to see everybody as you're joining me. It's beautiful to see. And I want to ask everyone, do you have that tendency to rescue? Do you have that tendency that is, constantly rescuing other people? And I want to really talk about that because it seems to be something that is very common. I know I recognize this in myself, but it's something that has been curtailed over the years. As I've become a psychotherapist, that's no longer appropriate. But in your personal life, we want to know about your tendencies to rescue, and also whether or not this is something that you find to be compelling. Like you have trouble stopping yourself from actually rescuing someone who is, they come into your life, they've got problems, and you start to find solutions to their problems, find ways to solve their issues, make them feel better, make them feel like they're not suffering as much, make them feel like you have sort of answers to the quandaries they find themselves in, and it's hard for you to watch someone in the place where they don't find the answers for themselves. And I find that people are losing a lot of their energy by by having people in their life that they rescue, that they pity, that they, and it's like a habit. It's a constant habit, finding people to rescue or falling in love with people that you pity or feel that are in not of a great place. And then you're like, oh, well, I could really help this person. And so I'm going to. But the problem with that, even though it's a lovely thing to help people, helping people is different from rescuing people. Rescuing people is where you're doing all the heavy lifting. Helping people is where you're showing them how to fish for themselves and find solutions for themselves, but you're providing a sense of support or a sense of presence. Very different from the rescuing energy. Very, very different. The rescuing energy is extraordinarily depleting and really, really not. I find it part of an addictive quality, like a compulsive quality. And a lot of people who, good morning, everyone who are showing up. I always appreciate your presence, and we're doing yet another courageous conversation. The thing about rescuing that is so problematic is that there's a lot of overfunctioning, which trains the other person to atrophy their ability to function for themselves. And then that muscle, that atrophying of their ability to rescue themselves becomes, in the relationship, they become the underfunctioner while the person who's rescuing is doing all the overfunctioning. And that is massively problematic for so many people. Some people might not recognize it. Oh, I'm just being nice. Oh, I'm just being supportive. Please differentiate between being nice and supportive and rescuing. This is hugely different. These are not the same. They're not one and the same, even remotely. And I find that a lot of people who come from families of origin where there's a lot of chaos and a lot of trauma and such, who possibly grew up with difficult relationships, narcissistic relationships, borderline relationships, and then survived and triumphed through. They became the triumphant ones out of that crazy environment. That's one scenario. They then in their adult life will be the one that is most comfortable always finding solutions to other people's problems. And I call that the solutioner pattern, engaging in the solutioner pattern. And I also find that very much the pattern of the addicted to rescuing, rescue. And I gotta say, I work with people who have tremendous, so often just incredible trouble extricating themselves from that dynamic, because somehow they have found that their self-esteem goes up the more they rescue other people. Isn't that interesting? It's like, so, they're rescuing, and then it's like it becomes almost an addictive quality because the self-esteem rises as they do that activity over and over and over again. And there's an impulsiveness to it, which is why I wanted to bring the full moon in Aries piece, because full moon in Aries will bring in some impulsiveness energy where you're not thinking things through and engage in the pattern of rescuing without thinking things through. And I would love to hear from people who have the issue, so that we can sort of have a dialogue. And sometimes, and Wendy Waddell says not so much, and Larissa says she's an Aries. Hi, I'm an Aries too, and love the Aries energy and love the fact that you're tuning in. But I wanted to just say, full moon in Aries and the rescuing combination, something to really watch out for. And it seemed to have been my theme in the office massively this past little while as people were moving toward this. Hi, Wayne. Nice to see you. I'm always happy to see Wayne. You do beautiful work on echo movement. So thank you for showing up on my live. Always appreciate that. And also I would say, let me know if there's any aspect of this particular broadcast that resonates with you. The other thing I want to say that is really important is when you're moved to find solutions to other people's problems in a compulsive way, look at your, thank you, Wayne. I appreciate it. Love you back, brother. When you look at your relationships, are they largely people that you can, rescue, pity, find solutions? Take an inventory of your relationship situation, because I feel that sometimes it can be so slow. The relationship that you find that you're in can be like a slow build into they've got the problems and you have the solutions, and they've got the problems and you have the solutions, and not really making folks work for their own solutions. Exactly, Wendy. The moon can affect us. I find I'm quite affected by the moon. And I found it an interesting thing that I'm an Aries, full moon in Aries, and there was a topic that I really wanted to hit today, which was the solutioning, the rescuing topic. And I thought, wow, and this past couple of weeks, I've just seen so much impulsive solution finding to other people's problems. And you know what? One of the number one reason people do it, and you might be surprised by this, one of the number one reason people will find compulsively that they're finding solutions to other people's problems, rescuing, is it lowers anxiety. Isn't that interesting? When there is a problem and there is no solution, it can cause anxiety. It can cause anxiety. There's a problem. I have a solution. They're not finding the solution to their problem. Why is that? I need to fix that. I need to find that is a thing I need to fix. And it becomes an anxiousness, especially if you're in a close relationship with someone. And then there is a lowering of anxiety when the problem is fixed or the rescuing, because it's like gaining control. You know, acting or being the solutioner and finding yourself in the rescuing position actually gives a person a measure of feeling like I'm in control. I have control over the situation, and therefore my anxiety goes down. And I see that as a theme. And let's see what some people are saying here. And the truth is that I don't feel that it's healthy to be the overfunctioner in a relationship dynamic. And I'd like people to check that in the dynamic. And so Wendy Waddell says, I have young children. It's very common among moms. New and full moons affect the family. Now I'm curious to learn more about the signs. Okay, that's interesting. Larissa's saying, I'm learning to hold back and not rush to the rescue. Excellent. I mean, and what's the feeling when you hold back? When you just like hold back, watch them, parents watching their kids have problems or I'm not talking about life and death problems. I'm talking about, problems that are like, ooh, that feels anxious. I'm anxiety provoking. There's a problem. I have a quick solution to it. And also time management. I could just fix that problem quickly. Let me just fix that thing. And then depriving the other person of developing the muscle of finding solutions to their own problems, to their own issues. And the solutioner is like also getting the self-esteem boost, a hit of self-esteem. Oh, you're the good one. Good job. You found the solution to the problem. Nicely done. Good job. Awesome. And so it is so important to find self-esteem elsewhere. Find it elsewhere. Find it in other realms so that other realms can give you the boosts, where you're filling your self-esteem in different ways, but not through the solution finding and the rescuing of others. And it's really hard, especially, for example, in the addiction relationship. The codependent enabler will find this is the extreme piece where there is, there's an addiction in the relationship and the person is sinking, and the partner or the family member who is present will codependently enable and find solutions to the problem, because what they'll say in the office and elsewhere is, what, am I going to let my kid freeze to death because he's out in the street? Or what, am I going to let my partner, suffer? I can't let my partner I can't just watch my partner suffer. It's, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, that's what we're supposed to do. Well, the truth is that you can find so many solutions to other people's problems, especially the addict. But the truth is that if they can't rescue themselves, if they don't rescue themselves, you can bring them to a meeting, you can bring them to help, but they've got to walk in the door themselves. They got to walk in the door themselves. And guess what? You deprive people of their finding their self-esteem from finding solutions to their problems. Children finding solutions to their own problems is the best way for you to allow them and to teach them to build their own self-esteem. It's a miracle when kids find solutions to their own problems, and parents have the courage and the discipline to sit back and let them find what it is that they are, going to find a solution to. And let's see. Larissa says, so true. I'm freeing me up for better use of my time, knowledge, and strengths. I feel calmer in the end because they are finding their own solutions. I'm not imposing mine onto them. Exactly. And Lynn Ann says, sometimes people don't want us to solve their problems. Exactly. They may even say they want you to solve their problem, but there's something that kind of descends energetically when you find a solution to their problem. And everybody knows it. And so it's a really important thing, and a discernment piece and a discipline piece, and a not jumping and impulsively in Aries moon, jumping to provide the solution to the problem. And I have had a lifetime of of learning that. It's just so incredibly profound for me, because when I see someone I love, it's the worst. Isn't it the worst when someone you love is in pain? I find that just so difficult myself personally. And so I'm like, I've got the solution to these problems. I know exactly how to solve this. I just want you to be happy is the battle cry of the solution finder rescuer. I just want you to be happy. And so what ends up happening is that, in our bid to make someone else happy, there's a transgression of a boundary. And that transgression of what is the boundary? The boundary is here's the boundary, everyone is responsible for their own happiness. Wow. Everyone is responsible for their own solution finding. Wow. I mean, it's a massive piece. It's a massive piece. And Badlands Boho, I like your name. I am stronger as my mummy has not always ran to helping with everything. Exactly. Yes, absolutely. And so Christina says, my brother always says I enable, working on it. Good. Yeah, I mean, me too. I'm totally working on it. I mean, one of the things that I myself work on is, and it's something I recommend everybody work on, is practice sitting in discomfort. The most powerful growth exercise, is being willing to sit in a discomfort of watching someone you love struggle in their life. And then, you're there, you're not abandoning them, you're present, but you're like always saying to them, you are always saying to them, you got this. I believe in you. You can find solutions to this problem. You can rescue yourself. You can pull yourself out of that situation. You can do this. You can do this. And there is such a powerful energy of discipline within yourself when you sit in the discomfort. And it's hard, but it is really, and Badlands Boho, I love your name, says the best thing one may have for their child is teach them independence. Yes, absolutely. And then the other massive thing is that I would say is that sitting in discomfort is not only going to teach you about how strong you are, how resilient you are, how disciplined you are, but it's also in the dynamic of this rescue, not rescue, is going to really empower the other person to grow their own muscle to save themselves and rescue themselves. And so the dynamic becomes healthier. The dynamic between the two people becomes healthier, and there's not an addictive quality to the codependent quality to the dynamic in which one person is building their self-esteem by helping the other, and the other person is atrophying their self-esteem because they're always the ones being helped, right? So allow yourself to go down the journey of sitting in discomfort as someone you love is suffering. How hard is that? And the other thing is that, it's not about not helping. Of course, there's some helping that we do. There's some advice giving. Perhaps people ask for advice, but I like the 3-time rule. Especially with people that are, I'll tell you about the 3-time rule, especially with people that are in addiction or in repetitive bad behavior or destructive behavior. You tell them once, you maybe do a little assistance twice, you maybe tell them 3 times and you're done. You have to do the 3-time rule. I was, a case study, very, very difficult family dynamic with this person that is dating a lovely human being who has very, very messed up kids who are adults in their 20s. And the person that's come into the family, into the dating, is this great solution finder. But unfortunately, now it's a year later of her finding solutions and them not finding solutions for themselves. And guess what's happening? Walks into my office exhausted, run down, depleted, unhappy, resentful, angry, depressive. I said, so how did this year work out for you in terms of being the solution finder to the constant problems? And what was said to me was, I really need to do it differently. I literally collapsing on on my office couch going, I know you've been telling me that I can't find solutions to other people's problems in such a repetitive way. I cannot rescue. I cannot be the one that constantly is holding all of the solutions and they only take. And I say to this person, are you ready to sit in the discomfort and in the pain of watching someone you care about and love suffer? And she says, I'm ready, because that's got to be easier than this. How I feel is what she says. And it's the truth. It is absolutely truth. It's short-term pain, long-term gain. Learn how to sit in your pain, in your discomfort of watching someone you love struggle through their issues. Be a supportive loving energy, constantly encouraging them. You got this. I believe in you. You can do this. And keep being the cheerleader, but don't go and then reach in and do it for them. Does that make sense? All right. I am so happy everyone joined me on this courageous conversation here today. And I want you to share this because I think people need to hear it. I think people need to hear it. I mean, it is so powerful to learn that you don't have to always be the rescuer, solution finder the solutioner to other people's problems. And tomorrow I'm coming at you with a really cool interview who is awesome. She is a dating expert, and her name is Shannon Tebb. She's a boutique matchmaker, and we're going to talk about, are you emotionally ready to date? Are people ghosting you? Are you ghosting people? And anyways, tune in tomorrow at 9:30 for another courageous conversation, and stop rescuing. And with the full moon in Aries and the super rainy day, try to not build your self-esteem by always rescuing others. Try and really work on just letting them find the solutions to their own problems. And you can be the cheerleader, but on the sidelines. Beautiful. Have a beautiful day. Big hugs, big love, warmth and light your way. Have a courageous conversation with yourself and another person. Mwah. Bye for now.